Hey, Paul Rabley here. I want to discuss kind of one of the particular elements of that first conversation that estate planning attorneys have with prospective clients. I've put together and I'm putting together a kind of a course because there's about 15 elements of that first meeting. So important, that first discussion when a prospective estate planning attorney client and the attorney get together. That whole first meeting, maybe it takes an hour or so, but it really makes or breaks the whole relationship. It may even make or break the whole estate planning program for the prospective client. So there's about 15 elements. I'm just going to break down one of those elements in this particular conversation. All of them are important, but what was on my mind yesterday as I was thinking about this was, and really this isn't the norm. Normally when a prospective client comes in to talk to the estate attorney, something got them in there. Maybe a friend or family member recently passed away and they realized some things didn't go well, and so the prospective client doesn't want the same thing to happen to them. Who knows? There's always something that seems to really get at a prospective client that gets them to pick up their phone and call you and set up a time to come in. So it could be any of this. Maybe it's something a child did. Maybe it's they want to provide for their grandchildren. Maybe it's a child's marital situation. Who knows? It could be any number of things. But occasionally somebody comes into the office and they don't really know why they're there. They're there because they know they got to do something. Maybe they just retired and they've known all along that they got to do something. Maybe their financial advisor said, you just got to go take care of this, but they don't know why. And so they come into the estate attorney's office, and of course the estate attorney starts checking off some of these elements and getting things done, and starts to inquire about why they are there. And the prospective client says, we don't really know what to ask. We know we got to do something, but we don't know enough to know what to ask. So that's when it's really the attorney's role. It's a little tougher to pull that stuff out of them and get at their emotions because they don't even know that they got them. So it really becomes important for the attorney to, I call it, kind of give them a buffet of items and then let them start talking. So sometimes I'll say, something like, well, and maybe I know, and all I know is maybe they're married and they got some kids, and that's all I know. I know nothing else about them and what's important to them. So, but when they tell me, we don't know why we're here. We're here. We know we got to do something. We don't know what to ask. Then I'll usually have to, give them a range of things, and that usually gets them to start talking. So I might say something like, well, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, sometimes people come in here and they don't, just like yourselves, they don't really know what to ask. And they don't really know enough about the subject matter to even start a conversation. So let me give you a few reasons why other people put a legal program in place, and let me see if any of those kind of resonate with you. Now, some people come in here because they really want to make sure things are set up easily so that their surviving spouse, Mr. So-and-so, some husbands come in wanting to make sure that their wife is taken care of and that she doesn't have any difficulty, when you pass away. So some people come in here to take care of their spouse. Other people come in because they want to leave things to their children or perhaps even to their grandchildren a certain way. Some people want to provide, some funds for their grandchildren's education. Some people want to leave a specific asset to a certain child. Some people come in for that. Other people come in because they don't want to lose everything if they get sick and they need long-term care services in a nursing home. They want to have things set up timely so that they protect what they have for themselves and their family. Other people, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, come in because they don't want their family to have to go through that court and lawyer involvement. People call it probate. Some people want to arrange things so that the survivors don't have to go through all of that kind of government interference when they pass away. And then others come in because they want to make sure their children's inheritance is protected from their children's potential divorces, and they want to make sure things stay in the bloodlines. Which of any of those things, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, kind of, which of those do you feel like you'd kind of start to want to talk about first? So then you see what I did? I gave them 4 or 5 things to start thinking. And usually, particularly if I know a little bit about them, I can give them the 4 or 5 things that most people like them typically, feel strongly about. So that usually starts the discussion and pulls some of what they're feeling out of them, so I can listen very closely to what they say that's relevant to their situation, and then start asking more questions. So again, all of this is designed so that there can be just a really, really productive conversation that leads to setting up a legal program that's just, perfect for that prospective client, and addresses all of the concerns that they have, all of the emotions that they have toward them, each other and their family, and all of their prior life experiences and how hard they've worked to build and save what they have. So it's so important that that conversation be just right, and that the attorney does a phenomenal job asking the right questions, listening closely to the answers, so that the next right questions can be asked, all leading toward a program that's put in place that the client feels just fantastic about. So I hope that helps. That's the kind of when the client is stuck and they don't know what to say, or when they don't know what to ask. This is the, what can you do to give them that little buffet or list of concerns that others have that may get them, to start talking. Hope that helps. That first conversation so important. So many elements. Most attorneys don't even realize that there are so many important elements to a first conversation, with an estate planning attorney. So I hope that helps for that little piece. I'm Paul Rabelais. Have a great day.